It's NXNE time of year. It's such an awesome Toronto music festival. And this band is going to be taking the stage at the Rivoli June 21st. I'm joined by Bela and Fernando of the Manic Boys and Girls Club. Congrats on your new single released last week called Sorry.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That was quite the introduction.
I know.
Well, we're really excited to see you. And I love how the festival is set up with all the different clubs and bars and just there's so many feelings that happen in Toronto during this. It's really cool. So it's awesome that you guys are a part of it.
Yeah.
We're really excited. Yeah, you just get like a pass and then I guess you could go to different North by Northeast things. And every week should be festival week with 4 a.m. curfew.
Yeah.
It comes alive. Yeah.
I was looking at the schedule and there's a couple of bands. One of them starts at 2 a.m. I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I going to survive this?
Okay, so the spot to go to at the end of every night is the Tiki Bar in...
at the Bovine Sex Club.
The Bovine Sex Club.
Yes, that's the one. That's where the 2 a.m. band is starting.
Oh, wow.
At the Bovine,
you're in the right spot
So
then.
you know what you're doing.
How they designed that place, I was in it the first time last year. Never been in it before, but the bike's on the outside, the baby doll head's on the inside, and Jägermeister everywhere.
It's a wholesome spot.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. So, yeah, let's talk about your new single. I love how there's a tempo change in there. It's you're feeling sorry for what's going on at the beginning of that song, but it picks up and it changes and your mood picks up at the end there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think like a lot of the underlying theme to everything we do seems to either intentionally or unintentionally, we always wind up just delusionally hopeful. So even with a song like Sorry, there is the story of heartbreak and despair and all this. But I think it was Fernando that was passionate about making it speed up at the end so your mood does change, like you said. And the lyrics and everything, it's kind of like a new chapter. It's the same story and it's the same song, but there's an evolution. And like at the end, it's like we want people to feel
like letting
hope.
go of your past and kind of just like moving forward. So we just kind of did everything that we were feeling that kind of, to translate that. I don't know if it's right or wrong or if there's any rights or wrongs, but that's kind of how we felt about it.
Well, I think that is the right way to go because if you went the opposite way and went from, the happy, upbeat part of the song to slowing it down to being sorry, then we'd turn the song off and we'd be like, what the hell?
We just leave you.
That might be for the second record once this tanks, and that'll be the mood of the second one.
So, is there an album or an EP coming out of all these songs? Because when I went onto Apple Music, I saw it was single. So, can we expect something coming our way?
Yes, the full EP will be out, like the full body of work that we kind of worked on will be out in September.
Okay, and that comes out after you go to Portugal.
That's correct, yeah. So right now we're like, we've got this single out. We do this, pretty big Toronto show before we leave. July we spend in Portugal, and then we come back and get ready for our fall, season with the release of the EP.
Yeah, and 9 dates in Portugal. So have you gone internationally like this before? Because you guys are pretty new considering, like, you started pumping out stuff during the pandemic. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty fresh, at least we feel it. It might be more than 9 dates. I don't know. Like we're all over the map. So we're hopeful, and let's see what comes of it. B, I don't know if we posted all our dates. I have a feeling. I feel like it's more than 9 European shows, but you're probably correct. There's probably 9 listed, and we just haven't updated because being independent is great because you can do whatever you want, but you also have to do everything. It's around there, like 2 weeks of Portugal shows. We are of Portuguese descent, so they love that you could do press in Portuguese because we speak the language, but your music is very North American, so we've recently won like an International Portuguese Music Award. So there's
for a music video, right? That was We'll Be Fine?
Yes.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. That was a huge honor for us. And very unexpected. We really didn't think we were going to take it home. So needless to say, we were not prepared with any amazing speech or anything. That and we had this huge bump, like Hubba Bubba in our mouths, and so we were nervously chewing gum up there. It was just a disaster, but whatever. It was memorable.
Yeah, and it'll be fun to look back on as things just keep growing for you guys. So I should mention you guys are brother and sister. So you grew up together. When did music start for you? Like was it like Christmas carols, or how did you know you were gonna be harmonizing and playing instruments together?
I don't know if we harmonized but when we wanted to play music was, I'd say, at a pretty young age. We've always been really, really into it. We're the first generation of any type of art in our family. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it started pretty young. Like our parents, it's kind of like one of those take some music lessons and, keep your kids busy and out of trouble. And then it just never stopped. So yeah, it's been a while.
Okay, so what instruments do you guys play? Do you play more than one?
Yeah, we kind of bounce around. Like Bela's main instrument is like the piano or keyboards. I'm mainly a guitar player, but we kind of just experiment with a lot of things. I'd say between guitar, drums, keyboard, I could play upright bass or whatever if it's needed or whatever, here and there.
The funny thing is we're both classically trained in our instruments. Like I studied classical piano for about 11 years, and Fernando studied classical guitar forever as well. We started around the same time, but neither one, we were just too shy to sing, so neither one of us are actually trained in singing professionally at all.
Really?
Yeah, but now we do more of that than anything else. Yeah, goes to show. Anything's possible.
Go figure.
So in the studio, when you're laying down the tracks, are you guys playing all the instruments, or do you hire people, or do you have friends that come in and tour with you? Where does the rest of the sound come from?
So on stage, we have some other musicians on stage with us. So it's like 5 of us on stage usually. The core of all the creating and writing is between, the 2 of us. But on stage, we'll have if we're playing U.S. shows, we have a couple American musicians that we could use there. We have our Canadian kind of group of guys. In Portugal, we're doing kind of more of an ambient electronic based show. Yeah. So we're just going as a duo. So we're playing this music in a very different light, which you'll hear on social media. I'm sure we'll be posting all these live footage of the live stuff we're doing. So it'll be a different take on it. So we could play as the duo up to the usual kind of loud 5-piece band on stage. In the studio, we kind of do everything ourselves, but Gavin Brown produced our EP, and he is coincidentally a drummer. Oh. So he played the drums on the album. So the producer just got out of the listening room, just went into the live room and played the drums along with us. And then everything else we kind of just did ourselves. So we, between the 2 of us, bounced around keyboards, guitars, and bass, and any vocal things and all that. There's no one really else involved. When we're in the studio, it's usually just the 2 of us and one person. Okay.
And then at NXNE, is it going to be just the 2 of you, or are you having more people on stage?
No, it's going to be a loud, full band show. It's going to be pretty big.
And we get to hear some of the new stuff off this soon-to-be EP?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And a sneak peek of what will be the first single on the upcoming EP. So yeah, we're starting to write and record the next album. So we're going to be unveiling one of the songs. I
kept an eye on your social media too. Your Wednesday night live is pretty awesome. Will we hear stuff on there too?
Will we be playing new material on Wednesday nights?
Yeah.
Possibly. We kind of dedicated Wednesday Night Live. It became this thing where we just we have people DM us whatever song they want to hear us do in our way, and so we'll do it's almost always covers, which Fernando actually hates doing covers, but he likes making people happy. So if they send in a bunch of DMs, then we just choose which one we kind of want to take a stab at, and we usually just rehearse it. We usually end up choosing it the day before and rehearsing it for very little time. So it's sometimes rough around the edges, but I think that's kind of part of the whole thing. It's just we want to let people have a glimpse into what it's like being in our rehearsal room or just screwing around with a new song. But
that keeps you on your toes too, because you're not practicing the same things over and over. You gotta kind of branch out, right?
So fun. Yeah, and there's no rules, and it's just like a little live stream. And we started doing this thing a couple weeks ago. We just did it for the second time last night, which is Wednesday Night Live after hours. We did it a couple weeks ago where we did the regular Wednesday Night Live, and then we kind of just stopped recording. We were done. And then some people messaged us, and they were like, "Oh, I just missed it. I tuned in late, whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, that was kind of short. Why don't we just turn on the camera as we're packing up and just like have fun with it?" And then suddenly it turned into like all these people just
like a big like conversation,
having this big chat
party.
And there wound up being like a few people that connected and exchanged recipes. Like, don't ask me how that got into cooking, but we talked about all this stuff, and we literally just let it run until the battery on the phone died. And yeah, we had some messages just of people saying that was really cool. I feel like I got to know you guys better or whatever. So I thought, let's just do it every week. So we're going to be incorporating that into the Wednesday night. So we do the Wednesday night live. We'll re-perform one of your requests. Mm-hmm. And then after it's done, we log out and then log back in. And whoever wants to jump on, like, we're not necessarily performing for you. If you ask us to, we will. But it's just a conversation. It's a hang. It's like we like to just pretend we're all together in our living room just having a drink and chatting about anything. And that part of it doesn't get posted. So whatever we talk about, there's no record of it afterwards. We can just talk about anything.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's cool. It's super fun. It's the after hours. That's actually what I'm most looking forward to now is the after hours, because it's really, you'd be surprised where the conversations go.
Well, and it's the best just to meet people that are fun to talk to, and you don't necessarily know them to start. Like, that's what I love about this gig here is I meet so many musicians, but then I'm like, oh, they're real people and they have, these problems or this is going on, and
exactly
they forget stuff like I do. And when you can relate to people, it's the best.
Absolutely. And then like you have people from different time zones tuning in. So it's just, they'll talk about what they're doing right now. One's waking up and making breakfast, the other one's going to bed. Like, it's just, it was really fun. It's really fun. So I think we're definitely going to do that every Wednesday after the Wednesday Night Live. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like fun. We'll have to tune into that and see you at NXNE coming up on the 21st. Can't wait for that. Best of luck with your Portugal dates and across the pond. That'll be fun. And thank you so much for taking the time with me.
Thank you. It was our pleasure.